What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Bill Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast here, man. We're only about a few months, we're about a few weeks away from the start of the new 2022-23 NBA season, and it's going to be off the chain. It's going to be a lot of stuff that's going on in the world of the NBA. So I am pumped up. I am ready to go. But the smoke is starting to simmer right here, man, because I'm going to talk about another subject revolving around Draymond Green again, just like I did last week when revolving around the whole confrontation between him and Jordan Poole. Now, it's already been reported that the Warriors are not going to discipline Draymond Green. He's not going to serve a suspension, and the league is not going to fine him or serve any games, despite the fact that he you know tore up on Jordan Poole in a practice. So, but already the opinions around the NBA have been mixed all over, and one particular person that has been pretty much outspoken about this has been Bobby Portis, who is the backup forward for the Milwaukee Bucks. And as many people may not remember, when he was with the Chicago Bulls back in 2017, um, he was suspended for 8 games after he got into a fight with Nikola Mirotic in practice when those two played for each other. Now, what happened in that fight was kind of, very violent to say the least, because I know that Nikola Mirotic suffered some major injuries, in that fight. I think he kind of suffered like a fractional orbital bone or something like that, in the fight. I'm not particularly sure, but I'm just going to check real quick to see what kind of injuries he suffered from that. But yeah, during the practice, he suffered a concussion and multiple face fractures. So I'm kind of in the ballpark of that. And so, yeah, he served 8 games for it. But he went on Twitter and pretty much went to task about it a couple of days ago when he said, "It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it," end quote. And I do understand where Bobby Portis is coming from in this situation, because if anyone else did it around the league, minus with the minus of certain superstars, of course, they probably be fined or suspended or probably expelled from the league. I mean, we've seen plenty of practices, and seen fights in NBA history, of course. But the thing that really, the thing that what Bobby Portis and a lot of people have to understand is that as unfair as it is, and he has the right to feel the way he feels, but Draymond Green is already an established star, and he's already a made man in the league on the number of years he's played with the Golden State Warriors, and he has the credentials to pretty much back it up. And you really don't want to see anybody doing any violent action or anything like that. But that just is what it is. It's unfair and it's really messed up, but that's just the way it is. But I do understand where Bobby Portis is coming from. But the bottom line is Bobby Portis is not even in the same class as Draymond Green or in the same talent level. So I really don't see the correlation of where he's coming from and all that. I do understand the double standard of it, which is completely makes perfect sense, because if he was suspended 8 games for, why Draymond Green didn't get any games for it. So that I understand where he's coming from in this whole thing. But I found that angle pretty much a little bit interesting, but I will say that it's not even the same ballpark. And I've seen people pretty much taking the time to say that Draymond Green should be banned for life or anything like that. Listen, it's not like Kermit Washington and Rudy Tom Johns back in the 70s. All right, it wasn't to that level, because you got to keep in mind, Rudy Tom Tomjanovich was not even involved in the main fight in the first place. He was trying to check what's going on, and then Kermit Washington pretty much blew him away with that straight right hand that pretty much, it pretty much shortened his playing career, to say the least. And that was one of the most brutal punches I've ever seen in the history of basketball. I mean, you got to rewind back to even back into the 50s, even to the 60s, when Willis Reed got into a fist fight himself when he was playing for the Knicks. But there have been much more violent fights than this. But, the way I look at the whole situation with Draymond Green is simple as this: he's pretty much on thin ice with the Warriors. And I think that he kind of realizes that the writing is on the wall, that the Warriors are pretty much believing that they can move on with Draymond Green. Do I think they'll re-sign him? We just don't know. We don't know what the Warriors will decide to do. Um, I know that he's going to be seeking another max deal, but I don't think it's going to be with the Warriors. I think if he wants to seek another max deal, it would have to be elsewhere. Now, keep in mind, the media is trying to angle this like saying that he's trying to punch himself into the Lakers. Listen, I'm not believing that at all. And people need to stop listening to what the mainstream media says. Even if he wants to play with the Lakers, it would be a very bad fit for Draymond Green. You know what I'm saying? It just wouldn't make sense to me for him to go to Los Angeles. I think a team like Philadelphia would definitely work well with Draymond Green, with his skill sets and all that. But at the end of the day, man, that's just what I believe in this whole situation. But the bottom line is, I do get where Bobby Portis is coming from, but these are just two different situations, and one got punished and one didn't, and that just is what it is. But let me know what you think in the comment section below, and with that, I'm out. Peace.